Have you ever wondered what would happen if honeybees suddenly disappeared from the earth one day? That tiny creature most people only recognize as a honey-making insect is actually one of the silent protectors of the entire natural system of our planet. From flowers to farms, from fruits to forests, countless colors of life survive because of the movement of these tiny wings. If you enjoy fascinating, mind-blowing, and eye-opening documentaries like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends so we can continue bringing you more incredible content. The honeybee is an extremely organized, intelligent, and hardworking insect that has existed on Earth for millions of years. Around the world, there are nearly 20,000 species of bees. But the most famous one is the honeybee. This tiny insect does not only produce honey, but also plays a critical role in maintaining the balance of nature itself. To an ordinary person, a bee may look like nothing more than a small flying insect. But in reality, its biological system is incredibly complex. A honeybee has 5 eyes, 2 large compound eyes, and 3 smaller eyes located on the top of its head. These eyes help it detect light, colors, and movement. Amazingly, honeybees can even see ultraviolet light, something humans cannot see. This allows them to identify flowers with extraordinary precision. The body of a bee is divided into 3 parts: the head, thorax, and abdomen. It has 6 legs and 2 wings. Its wings beat nearly 200 times per second, creating the familiar buzzing sound we hear. The world of honeybees functions like a complete kingdom. Thousands of bees live inside a single hive, and every bee has a specific responsibility. There are 3 main types of bees inside a hive: the queen bee, worker bees, and drone bees. The queen bee is the most important bee in the entire colony. There is usually only one queen inside a hive. Her primary role is to lay eggs. A healthy queen can lay up to 2,000 eggs in a single day. Unlike ordinary bees, the queen lives much longer, sometimes 3 to 5 years, while worker bees survive only for a few weeks or months. Worker bees are the true labor force of the hive, and they are all female. These bees collect nectar from flowers, clean the hive, take care of the young, produce honey, protect the colony, and even create airflow inside the hive by rapidly moving their wings. Drone bees, on the other hand, exist mainly for mating with the queen. They do not even have stingers. Interestingly, during winter, when food becomes scarce, worker bees often force the drones out of the hive to conserve resources. But how is honey actually made? When worker bees collect nectar from flowers, they store it inside a special honey stomach. After returning to the hive, they transfer the nectar from one bee to another. During this process, enzymes inside their bodies gradually transform the nectar. The bees then place it into honeycomb cells and fan it with their wings to reduce the water content. Once the liquid becomes thick enough, it turns into pure honey. The honeycomb itself is another masterpiece of nature. It is made up of perfectly shaped hexagonal cells. Scientists believe this hexagon design is one of the strongest and most efficient structures in existence because it uses the least amount of wax while storing the maximum amount of honey. In other words, bees naturally use advanced geometry without ever studying engineering. The communication system of honeybees is equally astonishing. When a bee discovers a field full of flowers, it returns to the hive and performs a special movement known as the waggle dance. Through this dance, the bee tells other bees the exact direction and distance of the flowers. In a way, bees communicate through dancing. Honeybees also possess an incredible sense of smell. They can detect the fragrance of flowers from long distances. In addition, they recognize the unique scent of their own hive, helping them avoid accidentally entering another colony. If a predator, such as a wasp or a bear, attacks the hive, the bees immediately unite in defense. Worker bees use their stingers to protect the colony. Surprisingly, when a honeybee stings a human, it often dies afterward because the stinger gets torn away from its body. In other words, a bee sacrifices its own life to defend its home. Now imagine for a moment what would happen if honeybees disappeared completely from the planet. This is not just a fantasy, it is one of the greatest concerns among scientists today. Nearly 75% of the world's crops depend, directly or indirectly, on pollination. And honeybees are among the most important pollinators on Earth. When bees travel from one flower to another, they transfer pollen, allowing fruits and seeds to grow. Without bees, many crops would begin to disappear. Apples, almonds, watermelons, sunflowers, coffee, and countless fruits and vegetables would be severely affected. Not only humans, but animals would also suffer because many species rely on plants for survival. Forest ecosystems would weaken, food supplies would decrease, prices would rise, and the natural balance of life would slowly collapse. Today, honeybee populations are declining across the world. Major causes include toxic pesticides, environmental pollution, deforestation, and climate change. Scientists continue to warn that if bees disappear, humanity could face a devastating food crisis in the future. The memory of honeybees is also remarkable. They can remember the position of the sun and use it for navigation. Some experiments even suggest that bees can distinguish between human faces. To produce just a single spoon of honey, bees must visit thousands of flowers. In fact, one bee may only produce around 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey during its entire lifetime. Every drop of honey is the result of enormous effort. In ancient civilizations, honey was often used as medicine. In Egyptian, Greek, and Islamic history, honey was considered a healing food. Even today, people use honey to soothe coughs, heal wounds, and boost energy levels. Honeybees are surprisingly fast as well. They can fly at speeds of nearly 25 kilometers per hour and travel long distances every single day. During winter, bees gather together inside the hive in a tight cluster and use their body heat to keep the queen warm. This shows that bees are not only hardworking creatures, but also deeply cooperative and protective of one another. Many people think honeybees exist only to sting, but in reality, they are generally peaceful creatures. Unless they feel threatened, they usually avoid attacking humans. Honeybees are among nature's greatest examples of teamwork, discipline, hard work, and sacrifice. A single hive functions like a perfectly organized society where every bee fulfills its duty with complete dedication. Just think about it. It's a tiny creature with no government, no schools, and no spoken language. Yet millions of them work together to maintain one of the most efficient systems in nature. Perhaps that is why scientists continue to consider honeybees one of the greatest miracles of the natural world. Without these tiny creatures, our planet might never have been this colorful, this green, or this alive. If you enjoyed this fascinating journey into the world of honeybees, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this documentary with your friends. Because the more knowledge spreads, the better the world becomes.